Yes, beautiful souls. Happy new moon in Pisces. I'm on here today to give some announcements. And also I wanted to just give some updates and all that stuff and what's going on. I am grateful and thankful for this moment on to do with the changes that are happening within us now as the new moon is in Pisces. Mercury is in Pisces. Mercury is in retrograde. Neptune is in Pisces. What else? Chiron is in Aries. So there's so much going on that I hope I remember everything, but I'm going to try and make sure to cover everything. Greetings, Lisa. Is that you, Lisa? I'm sure if it's you. Anyway, so I have some announcements I would like to make, and then I'm going to give some updates compared to the last time that I came on here and what else I had shared on YouTube, because whatever information I'm giving on here, I'm also sharing on YouTube as far as what is going on energetically. So first I want to announce that I will be on iHeartRadio this Saturday, March 9th, and it's going to be from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And this is with Sandra and Alan on the Twin Flame Divine Fire Show with Alan and Sandra. So I'm going to be interviewed, as well as you'll be able to call in and ask questions and or anything that anyone would like to share. So I'm very happy about that. That's my first time I'm going to be on a live radio, which has been my dream, to be able to speak in front of a greater amount of audience and be able to share my journey, as well as to help others who are on the same journey and know that you're not alone with this. So I will leave the link to being on the show where you can call in, and you can also listen to it on the internet as well. I'm going to leave the link in my YouTube, and it's going to be also on Facebook, and I'm going to try to leave the link also in the Instagram feed. So if anyone would like to listen in, again, that's this Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yay! The next announcement is on March 17th. I will be back at the Rock Collage to do with part 2 series, True Love, the Return of the Garden of Eden, where I'll be conducting a workshop where you'll be it's going to be interactive, where you'll be interacting with me, and also I'll be offering readings at a discounted rate, as well as I'll be speaking, and it's going to be interactive. So if we have questions or anything that we want to discuss to do with our journey, whether you're on ascension or twin soul path, I will that link will also be my Facebook feed as well as YouTube, so you'll be able to sign up if you're interested. I hope to see you there, and I'm so grateful for all of this. Third announcement is that I will be conducting my second full, actually it's going to be a webinar, and this is where it's in a Zoom setting. So it's just like as if we're having a workshop, but it's going to be online. And this workshop is in regards to the full moon, the spring equinox. It's a truly exciting time for many of us. This is going to be March 20th, and I'll be conducting it, and that's on the Wednesday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And this is through Eventbrite, and it's going to be Zoom. So even if you don't want to show yourself, you don't have to. And this is where we'll be able to not only interact with one another, you'll be able to ask questions just the same. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have some, I call it my strong language, or what we call speaking in tongues, light language. That's also going to be involved, and also questions and answers. A lot of time I know that when it comes to sharing what's happening on our past and our journey, there's someone else going through the same thing, and it's in a private setting, of course, because this journey is, of course, sacred, and many of us are wanting to connect to each other, so that way we have greater clarity with each other. So I will also leave the link with that on YouTube as well as Facebook, as well as I will leave the link in my Instagram feed in regards to this if you would like to attend. Again, that's March 20th from 5 to 7 p.m. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is what's happening in the energies. And of course, if any of you have anything you'd like to share or anything that you have a question, please feel free to ask while you have me on here. So one of the things I wanted to share is what is happening, especially for those who are on their sacred path. And what Spirit has been showing me is that the main theme is what's going on with the divine masculine, because which the divine masculine is within us, but it's also being reflected outside of us as well. And I have been getting so many messages or information or anything that's shared with me to do with what's happening, to do with a lot of the divine masculine and what's happening in their journey. So what I wanted to do this month alone, which is the third month, what was shown to me was that it's a great emphasis to do with the divine masculine, what's happening as far as the progress being made, the shifts, what is being regenerated, okay? The last time that I spoke on was to do with, I think many of us was having, some of the divine feminine was experiencing cramps, like as if we were giving birth or going into labor, you know, labor pains. And then what happened a few days after that was that it was very windy in New York. A lot of wind was blowing. And I did a recording of that. I believe I shared it in the Instagram. It's in my Instagram stories, I think it is. Not the stories, the Instagram live TV feed, whatever you call it. And what was shown to me was that that was a representation of like when the baby is born and the baby's taking his first breath. And so it's like the wind was blowing out as far as, you know, when the female is getting ready to give birth to the child, and you're having to inhale and breathe and blow, you know, and the baby's coming out. And so we're thinking about this in reference to giving birth to the divine masculine and also to ourselves. And it's like when the baby comes out of the womb space, it's like getting to know yourself again and saying, oh my God, I'm here. Why am I here? And it's like the divine masculine is having to understand themselves again and also relate to the new parts of themselves that has never existed before. And that means that has to do with a lot of letting go of the need to control, also the fear that they've had and the anger that has had to be released. The veil is very, very thin. And so it's like right now, as I stated, the moon is in Pisces, Neptune is in Pisces. So that means that everything that has been like an illusion or what has been like what they thought it was, especially if they're in karmic relationships, they're beginning to see things even clearer. We're beginning to see things even clearer. Or even the things that we thought we knew is starting to show. You're starting to see past the illusions. So, you know, it's what's real and what's not real and what is not real. And of course, that can be based on one's perception. But either way, we're being guided towards this time of rebirth. And this month in March is very significant for a lot of twin souls, not just because in terms of a physical relationship, but more so in terms of what's changed on Earth, what's templating on Earth. Uranus is in Taurus. Uranus is my planet as well. And my North Node is in Taurus. So I know that whether or not of what I'm consciously aware of, which I'm mostly consciously aware of it, is that it has to do with what's even coming in more with these change and what's coming in drastically for many of us, which means that if you have not been following your passion, your heart, your path, you know who you know, knowing who you are, not compromising yourself because of anyone that you're in connection to or your family member or friends or anything like that, but that you're still walking and stepping into that path. And that means that you're surrendering more to it. And that means that you're following your heart. That means that you're connecting to your heart. That means you're navigating from your mind to your heart. And so when we think about Mercury, we think about communication, and we're also reviewing again how we communicate through our hearts and how we perceive things to be, okay? So Pisces is the water. We're also going through this purification, and there's a purification happening within our souls. There's a purification happening to do with the templates of the divine masculine and divine feminine as far as twin souls as well. And that means that we're breaking down, you know, one of the reasons why we incarnated, why we're here during this end time, the ascension time, is what is breaking down to do with relationships, the patterns that have existed throughout millennium when it comes to the patriarchal system, how females have been treated, how we have allowed ourselves to be disintegrated, how we allowed ourselves to be dishonored. And now we're honoring ourselves, and we're moving through the time and space of now and what's changing. And even if you feel that you're not desiring to change, well, this is where Uranus comes in. That's like daddy comes in now. Daddy's like, I'm here. Saturn, you know, is like, hey, you're going to make this change. You're going to step into your path. And so the veil comes off even more in past the illusions of what you think it is, who you think you're to be with, where you think you're supposed to be, and you're being pushed towards that direction. So one of the things that has been shown to me as well is that 333, because the 333 was this week, represents the endings of these cycles and then coming into the beginning of the new cycle. So the purification that we're going through with the waters, you know, all that, those dreams I had to do with being in the water and, you know, being purified and, you know, the blood of the lamb. And I spoke about the 7 seals and all of that. And the purification cycle is also happening within the solar plexus as well. So you may have found yourself not feeling anything in, you know, in the lower part of your body. There's also things that are retemplating between the twin pairs because of what's coming up for the equinox on March 21st, which that is where the full moon is going to be in Libra. And based on what they showed me, it's like things are coming into a greater balance between the pair. It's like being activated with more frequency, more DNA between the pair and what is templating on Earth. Okay, so everything that has been coming up to the inner core of Earth that's within us is what has had to come up, you know, and then the root of the tree, the root of who you are, and not being in fear of it and connecting to all of this all at the same time. So the 333 opened that portal of what comes together with many of us, what comes together for the twin souls, the true twins. And some of us, I know I had a dream that I shared where I was like best friends with my twin, like we were talking and we were intimate with each other with conversation and all that stuff. You know, it's how much are we connecting to ourselves, how much we're connecting to our past and how much we're connecting to God, the divine, and who you are, and really being in that space of letting go and even more surrendering. I found myself feeling even in greater peace. Like I felt myself feeling more centered, more balanced, like all that purging that I've done from the eclipse and all the other things that I've experienced. And you feel it when you've reached into that 0 point energy. Greetings, 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 one and all, love to you. And, you know, when you're feeling that centered peace and you're feeling it's because of when you're surrendering to your path and because of when you're surrendering to who you are and what you're here to be. So another thing I wanted to share with you was something that was brought to my attention from a video I was watching with Sylvia. Her YouTube is The Enchanted World of Twin Flames. And there was a divine masculine who wrote something in conjunction to what she was talking about to do with the karmic endings. And she was talking about the karmic cycle, which I've spoken about it too, of things that are ending, you know, the manipulation endings, the control and the power that has existed throughout time, you know, the fall of Atlantis, the dissension in consciousness is what I call it, and turning away from ourselves and turning away from the divine and who we're connected to, because there is greater magic that is coming forth also to do with this portal that's open and this gateway, releasing the jealousies, the energy of jealousy, control, manipulation. And so she was talking about the karmic cycles, okay? And the karmic cycles is not just the relationships that they may be in, but also it could be where they live, where they work, certain things that have continued to have looped over and over again, which I have some of stuff that I have shared in segments on my Patreon account. Feel free to check it out for anyone who's interested in being a part of the Return of the Garden of Eden Patreon. This is where I share intimate experiences that I've had because I consider it to be very sacred. So it's for those who are interested in even knowing more stuff that has continued to happen, because a lot of times I have given out information on YouTube and then there's some more things that happen after that, but it is so sacred that I choose and I'm guided to put it on Patreon, where you can donate, and also there's other things that are offered with tiers on there. So what had been shown to me was that the karmic cycles had closed out, especially for me during the eclipses that we've had when with the Leo and Aquarius. And so many of us are closing out these karmic cycles, especially since 2012. But it goes back even further. And again, it has to do with the relationships that have existed in the past. the manipulation energies, the control, money as well, you know, all of this, okay, and not being able to be free. Okay, the freedom of expression, also being with our true love and what true love is for us, and not being told who to love, where to love, how to love, you know, based on color of skin or age differences or gender differences and all these things. So, you know, we're here, especially for those on the twin soul path, to break down all these barriers, to break down the walls. And so that karmic cycle is what is completing and ending. And what Spirit showed me is that for many of us who are ready now to be on our path and to be in this truth and not being in fear any longer, not really giving any energy, zero fucks to anyone as far as whatever you know that who you are as you have uncovered yourself, and aligning this with your divine masculine, the divine masculine aligning this with divine feminine, because it is both together that is bringing on this energy of balance, is bringing on an energy of what works together as equals, where it's not one more than the other. The wisdom that flows through the divine feminine, which is what they have, this is what they're stepping into, is themselves and the connection that they have to divine mother, to the feminine energy, okay, which flows through each and every one of us with wisdom, okay, because that's what had been missing from a lot of books and all the scriptures and stuff like that. So this is what we're here to bring on again. The wave of this consciousness, the Christ consciousness, and what is coming through and permeating through our hearts, because you can feel it, you know, and it's like you start to feel this inner peace and this inner knowing, regardless of what's happening in the outside world. So do remember, during this time of Mercury retrograde, you might be still reviewing things to do with your relationships that you've had, but you may not feel as much pain attached to it, because it's about detaching from the things that you have experienced emotionally and coming greater into it with greater emotional intelligence. Okay, so based on the stuff that Sylvia was talking about to do with the ending of the karmic cycles, the divine masculine is now going to see even greater, especially the females that have been important in their lives or a part of their lives, because at the moment, whether it's a mother or a sister or another female that they've had a relationship with, whether through marriage or living together, the veil is off. It's like they're going to be able to see even greater to what the truth is as far as what they're experiencing, okay? And knowing that they're now going to choose what is highest and best coming from the heart, okay? And so everything that had looked like, oh, it was this way in the beginning, now that's not the way it is now. And that means that they're being able to make choices and better choices as far as whether it's time to let go and cut the cord to do with the mother that's controlling, or trying to tell them who they should be within a relationship. Or maybe they're feeling like as if they have to have permission from this mother. Or maybe, you know, there are things that have occurred where they haven't been able to speak up and say no, and to speak up for themselves and to step into their power, or whatever fear or any beliefs that they have surrounding the divine feminine. And so it has created a cloud, in front of their eyes as to who their true divine feminine is, because that deceptive energy was coming through from, you know, whether it's a female that's in their life that they felt like, oh, this was best for me, when actually now they're beginning to see that it really wasn't the best for them, that they're now becoming more connected to the divine and what is the highest and best for them. So anyway, that's what was shown to me and still continues to be shown to me. This is also applies to the divine feminine, and also for her to see what is best for her, and also stepping even greater into her power, that she does not have to be involved anymore with people who are dishonoring her, or that, you know, I found that there were some people that I have known, they're not even necessarily on the twin soul path, but they realized that they were speaking up more. And that if someone is dissing you and trying to tell you what to do, or they're not respecting you, that you open up your mouth and speak, and don't just sit back and just accept it, okay? And that's a part of coming into your own masculine energy with your own strength and your own courage and your own bravery. Do you see what I'm saying? And not being in fear of it. Because you see, the more you step into your power and the more you stand with it, that no matter what, nothing will compromise that. That's how things come even greater with that energy of the divine masculine coming in closer to becoming his true self. Okay. And I say his in terms of, you know, still that energy. Okay. Because no matter what the law of physics is, as you begin one cycle of who you are on one end, it's automatic that it's going to come together. Okay, just like I talk about the battery, the positive and the negative. I myself, for the past several, I would say week or so, have embraced even more of that shadow part of the relationships that I've had. And I see it even in a greater light of what those experiences taught me, okay? What it has shown me, whether it was through my exes and marriages, because all of that was still a reflection of my twin, was still showing up as my twin, is what I went through in other lifetimes, okay? And so everything that shows up in your world, remember to look at the mirrors of everyone that you relate to and see what's reflecting and see how they're showing up and how it makes you feel. Are you triggered still? Are you still feeling as if you are a victim, you know? And if you feel that you're still a victim, then go deeper into yourself and to see what more there is for you to heal and to accept, okay? And also for what's best for you, okay? So I wanted to read something. I'm going to get back to what I was saying. I want to read something where this divine masculine wrote the most incredible, beautiful, vulnerable, brave story about himself and what has happened to do with his own transformation. And when I read it, what I saw and what I felt was, wow, this is what is coming. This is what's happening now. This is what is physically happening in the physical world, you know, because that's what Aries represent too, is what's coming into the physical world. And when the moon comes into Aries on between the 20th and the 21st, that's even more so of what is showing in the physical world with the divine masculine and the divine feminine in that sacred alchemical union, what comes together, what fits together, what works, okay? And that everything that you're doing, as far as those who are in the most of the divine feminine energy, remember that as you are moving through that healing process, or have had moved through that healing process, feeling that peace, feeling centered, as you have been honoring yourself, as you've been clear on what is the highest and best for you, where there's no doubt, and that you're in more surrender of your path, the divine masculine is going to do the same thing, and that this is really happening. So I'm going to read to you what he wrote. His name is Ian, and he wrote this on March 3rd. So, of course, again, this whole year, from what's shown to me, is a huge depiction of everything that's changing to do with twin souls, the divine masculine, and how much more things are coming into a greater wave and frequency on the planet, because more people are going to start to become more and more awakened, and more twin souls are going to be coming into that physical space, is what they showed to me, of more and more DNA codes that are coming up to the surface. They're coming up to the surface, okay? Things that are coming through from the planets and what it means, and that more people are coming to a greater acceptance, and the world will know who we are and what it means, okay? And what it means. So this is what he wrote. I'm going to read it to you. He says, I'm a masculine. This is what I've broken through and purged. On February 28th, I broke all the way down. I stepped back and saw my life for what it really has been for the past 5 years. I've spent my time getting high, running away from myself and my problems. I lived in a cycle of self-destruction. Every good thing I earned or was blessed to be given, I undermined or ruined. I blamed everyone and everything besides myself. I said and did awful, hurtful, vile things to the people closest to me. I pushed away people who only wanted good for me, who only showed me love. I didn't love myself and couldn't love anyone else as a result. I was the source of my problems and did everything I could to not admit it. I was a hurt, scared little boy. On February 28th, I drew a line in the sand. I released that boy and buried him. I've been searching deep down in my soul, cleaning house, finding my demons, and letting them know they don't have a home here anymore. I cannot be that person anymore. I will not be that person anymore. Saying I'm sorry is not good enough. I have to change. I have to be better. I'm becoming the man I need to be for my life. I'm becoming the man I need to be for the people I most care about. I've been sober for over 2 months. I'm taking responsibility for my life, for my circumstances, for my finances. My life is mine, all mine. Thank you, God, for the privilege to live it each day. Being a man is being uncompromisingly honest with yourself. Being a man is being balanced and stable. Being a man is taking responsibility for your words and actions. Being a man is honoring your word as yourself. Being a man is planning for the future and seeing those plans through. Being a man is taking care of yourself and the people you care for. Being a man is providing stability for yourself and the people you care for. Being a man is being generous with your time and attention. Being a man is taking initiative. Being a man is standing up for the people you care for. Being a man is inspiring the people in your life. Being a man is standing up for the person in your life. Being a man is supporting and uplifting that person. Being a man is earning and keeping that person's trust and having trust in them through thick and thin. Being a man is having that person feel safe and secure at all times. Being a man is treating that person as your equal. Being a man is striving to learn more about that person each day. Being a man is when you are wrong. Being a man is celebrating that person's wins and being right beside them during their losses. Being a man is having that person feel beautiful, heart, mind, body, and soul. Being a man is being humbled by the divine that person embodies. Being a man means putting in the work each and every day to let that person know you love them, care for them, and will always be there for them. And that is what he wrote on March 3rd. And there were so many responses to him writing that because I really felt he was in such a vulnerable place. And it was beautiful. It is what we desire, to be able to come before, because when I think of and what was shown to me, what I talk about in the book is that when the divine masculine and the divine feminine come towards each other, it's not where there's ego coming in to say, no, you should be this way, you should do that. No, it's about really being able to love each other unconditionally. Okay. And even if you're not on the twin soul path, all relationships are heading into this direction. And is where you're coming before each other humbly and really accepting one another. So even for those divine masculine who are becoming even greater awakened to themselves, that they're now opening up their hearts and they're expressing themselves. And that's what was shown to me too, is that many of them, including my own, that it's like there's something to do with expressing themselves and speaking their heart and speaking their feelings and trusting it. And that there doesn't have to be a fear of what society says, because they're so used to a man is supposed to be this way and a man is not supposed to do this, and a woman is supposed to be this way and a woman is not supposed to be that. Because after a while, all that gender stuff is not really going to matter, because when we start to move into a greater space of our gifts and what we're here to do and to be, and the magic, nobody's not going to really give a rat's ass what gender you are. So people who are still holding on to what somebody looks like and what gender they are, or trying to tell them what their path is and stuff like that, they're going to stay stuck and they may stay lost. And so I really am so thankful to be able to witness the changes that are happening, not only from this letter that I read to do with this young man. This is happening with me witnessing it for myself, with other, especially those in the male bodies, with how much of surrender and being vulnerable and expressing yourself, and that I can also be friends with someone who's a male and I don't have to be judged because saying that, oh, she must be sleeping with him, oh, she must whatever, or he must want her. It's all those type of old relationship patterns is what's leaving. That we're free to be ourselves, and we're free to have friendships and love and being in love with one another, that even if you meet a stranger, you don't have to say, well, I don't know that person, so I can't hug them or I can't tell anybody, because it's all those fears and the blocks, and especially the blocks that come through from religion and society and these structures. That's why when we were in Capricorn, all those structures were starting to break down. And it's like everything that is pouring through and permeating on earth with this consciousness and this light is that you're going to keep feeling, and you're going to be compelled to open your heart. You heard me. You're going to be compelled to open your heart. You're going to feel like you're going to either cry and express yourself. And that's what's happening to do with the divine masculine, that you will feel yourself crying. You will feel yourself feeling again. That the divine feminine, and especially those in the female bodies, desire to feel free again, that we can be ourselves and we can share our wisdom And that, you know, if we choose to dress skimpy or how we choose to dress, that we're not judged and told that you're this and you're that, and all the judgments that have been placed, is that we are safe and we can feel safe, and that we can feel that we're protected by any divine masculine. It's not just subjected to who you're connected to, you see? So we can all walk the earth, and children are also free to express themselves and to express their gifts and to be in their power. That even if they say that I'm a fairy and flying high in the sky, that they really are, you see? Being in this full expression, and also being in this true divine, where we're really coming back to the true divine purity of love. And that's what the Pisces season represents, why there's so much water element, is coming back into that space of purity. Like when it was said, who told you you were naked? Who told you that this is wrong and this is right? Who are you to accept what someone says as far as their judgment on you to what's right and wrong? You see? And so as we are moving and propelling back into this place of freedom and joy, and letting go of the false evidence appearing real, because that's what the illusion is that you may have thought one thing was one way, or what you were taught from your parents and your grandparents and all those generational curses, what they kept showing you is that it's in reverse. It's in reverse. It's all in reverse. All of it is in reverse, you see? And that whether or not you're in love with one person or two people, right? Who told you that that is the rule? And so all of this is what was shown to me as far as what we are actually physically now implementing on earth, what we're actually physically expressing it through ourselves, because we are activating more of our light bodies, and we're activating the true essence of ourselves, you see? And so I'm just in gratitude again for what I'm witnessing, for what I'm seeing, even with my own male children, okay, my daughter. And I see the reflection of what and how I feel inside that's showing outside of me. Let that be your guide as far as where you are with your journey, because everyone is on different, you know, waves with their journey, and different waves to their ascension, and different waves to their twin soul path, and letting go of the rules and regulation that should be this, and what names, the names that are used, and what you may believe maybe 10 years ago, that belief is no longer applicable right now, you know? And that's what I know, is that I don't go by rules. I break the rules. I make my own rules. And I make my own rules in terms of how I am in my own sovereignty. And I know no harm, no foul. I'm not hurting anybody. But guess what? I'm not going to deprive myself of being truly who I am, authentically deep down inside. You see? And so each one of us that continue to step into that energy of knowing and being and free, and you're placing honor in honoring of yourself as well as others, that's what's creating this new earth. And as I said before, I'm in gratitude for what is being expressed, what is showing up in with the divine masculine, and how much I'm in gratitude of how I'm witnessing it for myself. So that's what I wanted to share with you today as far as that. And also I wanted to share something else that was significant as a message. I had the pleasure of Red Robin came to visit me, and I wanted to read that real quick because it was a powerful message for me in as far as what was showing up as change for me. I hope I know I did print it out. Let me see. I couldn't have it memorized, so I would have to read it. But anyway, I'm just gonna read it off the internet. So, and of course today I saw Eve on the license plate like 2 times, of course. Okay. So this was yesterday's story, I think, or day before yesterday. I got a text from my aunt, the one who turned away from me, my mother's sister, and she had been in so much fear about, you know, my path and whatever, you know. And I'm sharing this with you because I want you to know that as you are coming back into that union space of yourself. It doesn't mean that everyone is going to be speaking the same language as you are, okay? In other words, if someone comes at you in terms of, say, if it's scriptures, or as a child, or an older person, or an animal for the matter, it's still a part of the divine. It is still the divine showing up in, how would I say, in expression for you to know yourself, okay? And being able to integrate all of the self and bringing all the pieces together regardless of how it shows up. And so she said something to me, I can't read it because I'm on the phone, and it said something to me along the lines about being renewed or renewed through Jesus Christ, right? And so I sent her back a heart, and I didn't dismiss it. You see, because when I read it, I came downstairs and there was a red robin right by the window. And I noticed it right away, and I took a picture. So I thought it was one, but it turned out to be two, then 3 and 4 and 5. There's a whole bunch of them. And then they just flew off, and then another one perched right on the fence, and I took a picture of it. So I knew already I was supposed to read it. I was supposed to look it up, and sure enough, what it said was, robin signifies stimulation of new growth and renewal in many areas of life. Teaches that any changes can be made with joy and laughter and song in the heart. The energy of the bird teaches you how to move forward with grace, tenacity, compassion, perseverance, and assertion. It incorporates new beginnings with faith and trust in the process. So you see, she may not have been consciously aware of, the reason, of course, her reason would have been probably because she's trying to get me to go back into the way, which is okay. And for me, I looked at it like I'm still receiving a message from the divine, right? Because I'm looking at it from my perspective, and I'm understanding how she's interpreting things with how she is seeing things to do with me and what she's guided to share with me. So I still knew I was receiving messages from the Holy Spirit. And then I got another message from what? The bird. And the bird says to me, Sharon, this is the time of new growth and renewal. You see? So, and I didn't dismiss it. I allowed it to flow that same day, the flow of the message. And so the robin was a totem for me. It was a spirit animal message. And it says that I have the ability to will new growth into my life at any given moment, which that's what I was doing, and that's why it showed up in my reality, right? And it says all you have to do is make a wish, be patient, and watch it comes true. You have the ability to find contentment in all types of circumstances and find pleasure in the simple things of life. And so it said here, the robin dream interpretation, because it was a dream, meaning it was a waking dream, because I talk about waking dreams in the book. So even though I wasn't sleeping with my eyes closed, I saw it, and I connected in my heart to know through the divine, there was a divine message. And so I stopped and I took the picture, and sure enough, I looked it up. Thank you, Mia, for giving me the head start to what bird it was, because I didn't know what species it was, but I knew I was going to be guided to what species it was. And so it says, to see this bird in your dream represents new beginnings. It is a time for growth. You're feeling invigorated and inspired by the possibilities that are out there for you. Okay. And it says here, the dream may also be a pun on someone whose name is Robin. And it says the associations for Robin is beginnings, clarity, competitiveness, contentment, growth, happiness, hope, illness, joy, language, learning future, luck, movement, musically, pioneering, pleasure, rejuvenation, renewal, satisfaction, simplicity, song, and voice. So the other aspect of the bird, of course, it says illnesses and stuff like that. But what do you think that means? That has to do with the shadow part. You get to choose where am I going to move towards myself and what's showing up for me. Am I going to go back into the shadow side? I'm aware of it. Or am I going to move back and stay into where I choose to be at the moment, recognizing the new beginning because I'm choosing it and I'm aligning with it. And that's what's important. So think of yourselves, for those of you who are also experiencing new beginnings. That it's not just what you're seeing with the physical eye, but it's what you're feeling. Like for me, it's almost like super psychic. It's like I can feel the thoughts and I can feel the energy and I can see it and assimilate it together all in one package. And then I'm connecting to the subliminal message, and I take it deeper and I take it wider and I take it higher. And that no matter how it comes, I still know that I'm protected, that I know that it is for the highest and best for me, because I know. Was it because someone told me? No, it's because I know. And so the divine masculine is being pushed and pulled into that. And I say pull because it's a magnetic pull, into also connecting and trusting and knowing in their heart and not just what they see. The world that they're in is important because they represent what comes into the physical manifestation of her desire. And his desire is her desire, and her desire is also his desire, because this is what makes up that energy of divine mother and divine father. It is through the will and the thought that it started from, and then the feelings align with the thought. And then as we bring in the thoughts and the feelings together, then what happens is we start to bring it into a creative space. And so we're moving back into the creativity space, being creative by what we desire and aligning with it, not looking at, oh, well, it can't happen if I don't do it this way, or it's like really truly letting go of, even if it looks impossible. I created one of I called myself, this is Lisa, if you're still there, boss bitch, because I created something that was so magical, so like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. It's almost like I wanted to pinch myself, but it's not because I didn't believe in myself. It's just because when it does happen, it's almost like, wow. It's like saying one thing, but then when it's actually happening in the physical world, it's another. And all of this magic is what's returning within you, within me, once you are allowing yourself to remember as such as who you are and your connection to the divine and who you're connected to. You see what I'm saying? And you're just going with that flow. See? It's about going with the flow, knowing when to do and when to step back, when to surrender and when to speak up, when to, take that action and when not to take action, and connecting once again that if you still push up, when you're in the water and you're pushing against it, it's going to pull you back. It might pull you back and it might take you away someplace else. So and if one thing doesn't work out, that means that's something greater, which I don't want it to seem cliche, but it is true. And that I realize even more and more and more and more that everything that is happening through me, not to me, is divine in its timing, in its order, in its sequence, with the thoughts that even if I do or whatever choice I make, it is still divine and it is still in its order. And the same thing is happening within you, and it's for you to remember that. So connect more within yourselves and allow yourselves to see past the illusions. And still, the illusions and the fantasies and the magic and the adventure is still beautiful, and it still counts, because being in that with the inner child of adventure and magic is what we've lost. We've lost that. We had lost the divine feminine energy. And so we're bringing it back. We're bringing it back. And bringing it back means that even if it appears crazy to anyone, it really doesn't matter, you see? Because each one of us that allows ourselves to be in that freedom of this magic and however it shows up, then what you're doing is you're lighting the way for someone else to also find that inner divine magic within themselves too, you see? And then this is how we just keep lighting it up like a Christmas tree. We're lighting it up like a Christmas tree. And I forgot that game, when you plug it in that thing and then all of a sudden it just starts to light up in different directions. You just never know what the other person is going to pick. But I do know that everything that we are being and doing in our creative space as far as twin souls, that the magnet is pulling us back to one another, okay? We're being pulled through the divine, being into that secret place of love, the secret place of the Most High in consciousness. and having greater clarity about your journey. And if you find yourself still questioning who you are and what you're here to be, go back to that inner child and ask her or him, what have you always desired? And just do it. And just know that the universe is going to align it all for you to get started. So I just wanted to give you this message today, and I'm in such gratitude for each and every one of you. And once again, if you are interested in any personal private sessions, feel free to go to my website at www.thereturnofthegardenofeden.com, or you can send me an email at thegardenofeden1111@gmail.com. Also, check out my Patreon account, of which I also share segments on there for anyone who'd like to donate. Also, check out my page. I'm glad I remember this. Sharon Andrea, the Return of the Garden of Eden. That's not my personal Instagram account, but the page itself, Sharon Andrea, the Return of the Garden of Eden. I put a new note which shows the what do you call it, more details of the topics of the audiobook, and it is mighty long. Yes, it is. It's about 12 pages, but it shows everything to who we are, who I am, and everything that comes together. I am so pleased to announce that there is truly a publisher that is interested in publishing the book. And the way how that came about, again, that was magic. I didn't knock myself out because no one was really interested in publishing the book as being an audiobook and, you know, wanting it to be the old ways. And Sharon does not bring things on the old ways. No, she does not. Her is interested in the new ways and being different, because we're all uniquely different. You know, you are who you are. I am with who I am. And I love you just the way that you are and nothing less. And so the way that the information is coming along and coming through me is audio. And I'm just in gratitude for how it just occurred magically for it to get started. So if you don't see me on as often, which I know it's kind of slowed down a little bit, but I try as best as I can, is because I am working on greater details to do with the book and getting it together. I am in anticipation. I know there's some who have asked me, when is it coming out? And they're ready to read it now, or listen to it now, I should say. I really feel like it'll be probably by the end of summer, you know, into fall, if anything. But I am so ecstatic about it because I get the greater vision. And I know that for me, I'm bringing in the messages with love and clarity and humor and strength, and know that everything that you have gone through, what we've experienced, for those who've gone through the deeper purging and the deeper processing, and oh my gosh, it's like for me, I can breathe again. And even though I don't have things in a concrete, this is this, that is that, I'm okay. I'm okay. And I'm just like allowing things to unfold and not attaching to, oh, it's got to be this way and oh, it's going to turn out that way. No. And this is where this Piscean time now is about feeling, knowing what you know and feel within yourself, that even if it looks a particular way in the physical world, you know that what you're feeling is what's true, right? And that you're also using your discernment to know what is the truth, what is really clear. Are you able to see through the deception and the manipulation of others? Do you find yourself being in more separation from, you know, from others, and just let it go because it's not for your highest good anymore? They may come back, they may not come back. You know what I mean? But at least, like I said, I'm grateful that I follow my gut feeling, and not just my gut feeling, but also what I receive in energy and how I see it and put the pieces together, like I said, you know, and know that even for those who are carrying those lower vibrational energies, that they're in place so you can see what has to show up from the unconscious place. And we're making it conscious, okay? And it's going to keep going in that cycle. Everything that's deep below the surface, anything that's deep below in thoughts and emotions and that lower vibration of the lower realms, it's going to keep coming up. And as it comes up, after a while, you don't even have to say anything, because as you let that light continue to shine through you, remember that you're going to amplify and it's going to push it out, okay? That's the greater degree of what happens, especially with twin souls, okay? Because your sacred partner is there in place to amplify and bring it up so you can see it. And the divine feminine is the one that transmute it with, you know, it's a shared experience. It's a shared experience. So keep remembering that it's a shared experience. So that way now, when you come together, that it is not pushing against, you know, like before. Okay. So this is that part of that sacred alchemy that comes through from your own inner harmony, that you're able to be okay with yourself, regardless of whether the person is in the physical space with you, but it's still happening. Okay. Because a lot of us is going to start having more of the telepathy. You're going to start even hearing and feeling the conversations, you know, that's going on. You're going to start seeing more signs, more synchronizations, you know, the mess. It's just going to, and then you're going to find yourself reviewing back from dreams, maybe months before, or other experiences that you may have had. And you're going to probably bring it back and have to review it again, because that's what happened to me today and yesterday. I was reviewing something else again to do with my twin and how it shows up with my landlord. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. So all of these things is what you pay attention to, and don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. It's a part of the process of us not just awakening, but being able to come back together again, where there's a greater harmonic frequency that's taking place with the pairs. Okay. So that's what I wanted to announce to do with the book. Yay. And again, I will be on the radio on Saturday, again, iHeartRadio. And that'll be from 5 to 7 p.m. Feel free to join us on that call, where you can call in or you can listen. If you have questions, you'll be able to call in. I will leave that link below. If this is YouTube, it'll be on the YouTube channel. And if on Instagram, I'm just going to probably put up something where I have all the links on there that you can copy and paste or whatever. Because unfortunately, Instagram does not do this where you can, you know, click on a link or something like that. And then, of course, I will be at the workshop. Also, in the month of April, on April 28th, I will be back at the Awaken Fair as well. And that's where I will be doing discounted readings. And the fair also involves other healers and crystals and all kind of lovely stuff that'll be there. And that'll be on April 28th. And all of those announcements, if anytime you want to know of any other events and stuff that's taking place, you could visit my website and the events are listed there. Also, don't forget, March 20th, I'm hosting the webinar. And this is for anyone who's interested in being in an interactive setting, like being in a class or whatever. And it's interactive. And also, I'll be probably more than likely, I know I'll be giving updates. And I feel like I'll be speaking in some ancient tones. Because that was happening with me yesterday. I kind of felt good, like, oh, I got a little break. I got a little rest from things for a few days, you know, because I said I choose to come back a little bit of normalcy. You know what I mean? Just a little bit. So at least that happened. And, I also plan to see Captain Marvel on Friday, so please go out and see it if anything. And if you didn't see Glass, because all of those movies are messages. It's like more than I call it a preview of life's coming attractions to what is happening on Earth, what's happening with a lot of the twin souls, and what is shifting and coming together with our power and really stepping into our power, really stepping into who you are and knowing that you're not alone. It's not like when Yeshua was on the planet and he had to do it alone with Mary Magdalene. This is here to stay. This is here for us to be. And this is for us to really witness the greater magic of what's coming together for and with the pairs. Okay. So I'm sending you lots of love and blessings. And happy, this is our new year. This month of March is the new year for many of us, okay? This is the true new beginning. This is the spiritual new beginnings for many of us, okay? And all I can say more than anything else is let go of any resistance you think you may still have. And, you know, the song that I'm hearing in my head is, you know, put one foot in front of the other. And I also think of the little engine that could, okay? I think I can. I know I can. You know you can and you will. And you're not alone. And you're making it through, okay? So I'm just going to say a little simple meditation for us before I leave. Let's just inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. And we're just going to visualize ourselves as being up on a mountain. And on this mountain, we're seeing out in the open, and we're having our arms just open so wide to receive, you know, because that's what feminine energy means, is receiving, okay? And we're just inhaling and exhaling again. And inhale and exhale. And just know that all things and everything that comes towards us, we look at it as all good. Like, you know, even if it may seem negative, there is something greater than what you feel is happening. Okay? That we're now leaving the frequency of lack and limitations. We're releasing the frequency of, oh, I can do this all by myself. We're releasing the frequency is, I don't have enough. We're releasing the frequency of, someone's out to get me. We're releasing the energy of, this is not what it appears to be, because we know that we are getting past all these illusions. See? That we're now in the space of receiving. That we're now in the place of not only receiving, but we're being receptive. That we're being open. In order for us to receive, we have to be open. It's just like when we're creating a baby, you got to open something, right? For something to enter. And as you are allowing things to enter, that means that you're releasing all the old baggage and the old friendships and the old karmic cycles that have been repeating. If there's something repeating in your life, I'm in gratitude for the wisdom that flows through you and each and every one of us to be able to let go. When we're able to let go, that gives us greater power. When we're able to look at the weaknesses that we consider weaknesses and know that it is our strength and that we are able to make it through, we are in gratitude. Ukuni mera bara kito sinana bekera ne bete sheko tira paten kupi pukumbi ba bete kito kumira te chamui. Alina la pokunde la bata kane yetara kito kunira kitara kiti sheketuni kitala pe kitala kituni kitala pe kitala kituni kitala kitu kuti bikatane kitala kitu kitala bakata. Ale kitala kituni ira pa kitara sala kitene kito sikara pa kunsuru kushela mara kite kito de raba. Alini kitane kitala kotushini ira pa kitane kitale kiti sokotira ba. I'm in gratitude for the sacred path that we're on, and that we're choosing to honor this path and knowing that it is greater than who we are, that everything that's coming forward into this physical manifestation, that we are getting past this and knowing the greater realization of this and knowing who we are and what we're here to be. We're here to be in the space and the element of true love of the heart, true love of the soul, what our soul desires, and that we're listening to our soul. Te shana mukuti la mera kina ne kito kuni la papada bade. Ani di chukudi la pita kisala de kito tukuni ba. Pa chukuni ba la ba tiki na kita na kita. Ani ni kito rida la beda kito kuchi na bita kito kuti sala ni kita tsi kito shukudia. Alini kito ni na bi te kuni tara ti chukuni na. And I'm in such gratitude as we are on this mountain high, as we're also connected into the lowest part of the valley, you know, and seeing and knowing ourselves in both worlds, that we're able to continue to integrate and to honor our past, to know how much we're applying more of the knowledge that is flowing through us, the knowledge of God, the heart of God, and that we're able to now apply this wisdom through our hearts. And so it is. Namaste, beautiful soul, and happy new moon again. You don't have to be afraid of your magic. That's what had been taught before or given before from past times of being afraid of magic, you see, and how it had been distorted. How we've dumbed down ourselves for so long into feeling as if we are to be less than. So I shall depart from you now because it says I have 23 seconds remaining. and I don't choose to be cut off. I love you all. I'll be back again another time soon. Peace. Out the fire, out the fire, out the fire. Look at music, because we have to celebrate life. Yes. And this is Byron Lee and the Dragoneers. Yes, soca. Give me soca. Shift through the energies and celebrate through this new moon. Gotta dance, yes. Praise. You come and disappear. I wait the man with the hammer gone. Tell me where he's gone. Tell me where he's gone.
Can you tell me what's going on?
Tell me where he gone.
Anybody know where the hammer gone?
Tell me where he gone.
Why you up my sleeve?
Hey,
Why you make me grieve?
hey,
Hammer, tell me that.
hey,
Why you do me that?
hey. Oh Lord, every one go out and face a war. Go. And look what you name the fire breathing dragon. They talk about dragon. You see that? Can't make this shit up. Woo! Da-da-da. Tell me where he gone. Tell me where he gone.
From April of 85, Mama went to sleep. After years of making,
I'm gonna play my favorite one of all.
he used to move with the dragon man, all through the soca land.
This is my favorite soca one. Sugar boom boom. Yes. And it's also a sign for me too. Dun, 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 dun. La la la. La la la. La la la. La la la. Give me the boom boom. He's saying that he wants to feel the sugar, the boom boom, right? Declaring love. Tell you to sing it Kitchener. Audrey. You get that sugar.
Darling, there is nothing sweeter.
Nothing sweeter.
You make me feel, you make me ball, you make me feel like 10 foot tall.
Sugar boom boom. Sugar boom boom. Sugar boom boom. Sugar boom boom. Give me the boom boom.
Soca 101.
Soca.
You're listening to the bonus CD mixed by the Kingdom of Soca.
Kingdom of
Dr. J and
Soca.
Boxman.
Featuring Sharon. Wine your boom boom. Tiny whiny. Wine your boom boom. And them girl from Trinidad. dancing, by the way. Love dancing. Nothing but greatness, one love. Love and light. What is this? Wind up the waist. Move the body. Move the womb. Move the body. Give me soca. I want my soca. Just give me soca. I love my soca. Soca by arrow. Soca by arrow. Soca by kitchen. And then my gabi. That is the African movement. You see? Yes. A long time in a dance, but glad to have you join me. Just one more boom boom. One more boom boom.
If it's push, go in the bush. If it's push, go in the bush. If it's push, go in the bush. Go in the bush, better go in the bush. From the time you step inside the dance. Look at charity, look at charity. It's a cell phone home, girl, bring me a chance. Girl, you sipping it, and then your face long and it's someone. Go fix your face, my like yes. I didn't leave your home and carry your mother. Your mother does have more fun than you. Well, it's like you come in here free, or you get a complimentary. Well, my money spent. I wanna work from the moon till the end.
I want body but on the boom boom. I don't body but on the boom boom. I don't body but on the boom boom. I don't body. Yes, darling, books. Somebody interrupt me.
Like you're modeling, girl, what you feel?
Da, 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 da.
Behind me in them 6-inch high heels. Look at them shoes, you could walk in that. An hour after your foot running. Look at the foot running. Then through the cold down flat, we had to be sitting. Then I'm fed up talking to you about them things you just do. Next time you do me that, I'm gonna whine and I can't do
I want body but on the boom boom. One better one on the boom boom. Party. Jump and wave. Put it, a party, a party, a party.
if what I want was a trophy, hush, girl, would I enter the Olympics already? Fly you till more tour. Best to go and sit down in the car. Go and sit down in the car.
I want to find a song that have a nice message. Nice message. Next one.
Forget all your worries.
Here it is.
Whatever happened before.
One for the road. Forget all your worries.
Whatever stress or problems you have, leave it
at the door. Leave it by the door. By the door.
And come inside.
Let me fit. Let me fit. No worries. Somebody, yeah. Let me fit. Let me fit. Let's see. Really good rum, yeah. Gotta play. The art of work and play. Yes. Talk a lot about that in the book. How do we balance out work and play? Play. Let me fret. Let me fret. Let me fret. Let me fret. Drink green rum, yeah. Solid out. Peace out, one and all. Live back to the soca. Forget all your problems.